Hello, YouTube. The official Hech Digital YouTube channel. And I'm Hech, and I'm streaming to you live from the studio here at B&H. That's right, folks. 33rd Street, 9th Avenue, the world famous B&H. Today we're here to talk about cameras. As you can see, the title is How Much Camera is Too Much Camera? Special shout out to the staff here at the studio for letting Hech come in and talk about something that he loves. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I have about 20 years of experience in the film and television industry, mainly camera focused. And this is the one thing I know about, because Hech loves cameras. But anyway, again, super duper shout out to the staff here at the studio at B&H. But let's get into it. We're going to talk about a bunch of cameras here. And actually, by the way, 33rd Street, 9th Avenue. If you happen to be in the area, stop by, tap on the glass, wave at the camera like it's the Today Show. And I'm Al Roker, although Hech is no Al Roker. Anyway, come on by, wave at the camera, Oh, speaking of camera and speaking of B&H, when you say B&H, B&H is synonymous with cameras. Now, if you don't know what B&H is, let me tell you about B&H. B&H is the best. And that's what I think about B&H. I heart B&H. I love B&H. Did they hear me? Anyway, about cameras. I mean, this is the place to talk. As I said before, cameras really are some of my favorite things. One of my very first camera was this here. This is my dad's camera. He gave it to me. Dad's no longer around, but it's a Nikkormat FTN with a 50mm 1.4. When he gave me that camera, man, I burned a lot of film. I mean, just literally burned it. I'd develop it and come back with either all white or all black negatives. I just had no idea what I was doing because it was a fully manual camera. There was nothing automatic about it. Mind you, I was working in the camera department. I couldn't figure it out. But I made my mistakes, and I learned to love that camera. As a matter of fact, I started loving all kinds of cameras. And cameras have become like my favorite thing. And it's not necessarily in an odd way. It's not necessarily the image. It's the camera itself. And so somehow they became my favorite thing. That's right. Cameras are some of my favorite things. When the dog bites, sorry. I get a little carried away. Yeah, cameras, And what's not to love about cameras? It's what I worked with, and suddenly I had a moment where all the knowledge that I have of cameras was applicable, because in 2020, everybody and their mother became a streamer. And I mean that literally, not figuratively. From Zoom and Google Classrooms, everybody became a streamer. And, I use streamer very loosely because when most people say streamer, they think gamer or live streamer like Hech. Hi. But once you are communicating via camera and microphone over the internet, you're streaming. You're streaming yourself. You're streaming your knowledge. You're streaming whatever it is you want to stream. You know? But you're a streamer. And in 2020, everybody and their mother became a streamer, including yours truly. And so when the film industry shut down, I didn't know what to do with myself, frankly. And so I sought out how I could help others. And I started working with an orchestra, just hosting their Zoom meetings, and helped them to continue rehearsing and hopefully perform. And I was able to host 50 to 110 individuals in meetings. But the one thing I noticed that really just bothered me, everybody's camera looked like crap. More importantly, so did mine. Now, Hech has to look good. I mean, for crying out loud, if my camera doesn't look good, then there's a major problem with that. I have a major problem with that. Call me vain, call me crazy. I agree. Maybe I'm just a little OCD. So I started searching, and we're going to talk about my journey through cameras for streaming. And for all you real camera geeks like myself, you'll have to forgive me. Go ahead and hate me. This is not a camera review. I'm not going to be talking about all the ins and outs of each camera. And we have some nice cameras here. We also have some crappy cameras here. But I ended up on this camera as my default go-to streaming camera. And I love it because Hech looks good. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. Some of the cameras that we're going to be demonstrating today or showing today is, let me see. First one will be my onboard camera on my LG Ultrafine. Now, this is it's probably similar to the cameras that most people use, that most people have access to. It's built into either your laptop or your monitor or whatever have you. So we'll show you. I'll demonstrate what that looks like, and then I started being the OCD camera nerd that I am. I started saying, "Oh, let me try something else," and I bought this. I think Logitech 922 Pro HD is a 1080p camera. I thought this has to be better, and I'll talk about that. Frankly, it wasn't much better. So I had a couple of GoPros, and I said, these GoPros got to be good because I know I can control them. So I put in I had a a GoPro Hero 4 Black. I'm pretty sure I messed that up, but you guys see what it is. Again, super unsatisfied. And then I moved on, and I still have, a mirrorless Fujifilm X100. And I put that on, and I had to figure out how to get it to connect, but it did. And people started noticing, and I started noticing, wow, there's a lot more control here, and the image just looks better. And I'm really happy with it. And when you see me the most, this is generally the camera I use. But we're also going to look at another camera. We have a Sony Venice. Thanks, by the way, to the staff here at the studio at B&H for letting us use these cameras. And this camera is, with a lens, is somewhere around $60,000 with all the accessories, maybe a little bit more. It is a true 4K camera.